Hi, hello, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Danielle, and today I'm going to be talking about my March TBR. It is extensive. So I saw someone post somewhere that March is massive March. And let me tell you that the books I'm planning on reading are massive. So I threw in a couple of short ones too, just so that way I could put something in between those massive books. But yeah, actually, you know what? I'm forgetting a couple of books. Hold that thought. Okay, now I've got my stacks. So first up, I've got my, let's start with my book club books. So my book club, my in real life book club, the BAM book club, is reading The Grace Year by Kim Liggett. This will be a reread for me, but I absolutely loved this book when I read it back in 2020, and I can't wait to see if it holds up the second time around. So really excited to read this one with them. It is basically, speculative YA thriller in the vein of Hunger Games and The Power. So it's feminist, Hunger Games-esque thing, dystopian, really fun. I really loved it. I don't want to read too much about it because I think that you should go into it a little bit blind. It's a lot more fun that way. Then on Instagram, I am in a book club with Bookends Friends, and we are reading The Reformatory this month by Tananarive Due. I don't know how to say her name, but this one is like a Southern Gothic horror, if I'm not mistaken. It takes place in Gracetown, Florida in June of 1950, when a 12-year-old is sentenced to the Gracetown School for Boys for kicking the son of the largest landowner in town in defense of his older sister, Gloria. And if I'm not mistaken, he can see ghosts, or haints, as he calls them. But it is a haunting work of historical fiction written as only American Book Award-winning author Tananarive Due could, by piecing together the life of the relative her family never spoke of and bringing his tragedy and those of so many others at the infamous Dozier School for Boys to light in this riveting novel. So I think this is going to be a hard read, but I think it's going to be an important read, and it sounds so good. I'm really psyched to read this. It is a massive book. I guess it's not more massive than other things I've read, but it is 565 pages, so it's a pretty decent size. I do have the aardvark version, which is beautiful. I'll let you see the naked book on the inside cover. It's just so pretty. They did such a good job with it. I really do like my aardvark books. I think that the quality of the books is just so good. So anyway, sorry, that rant is over. The Reformatory. And then my Phi Mu book club, which is the book club I have with my sorority sisters from college. We are reading Love at First Book by Jen McKinley. I honestly have no idea what this book is about, but there's books on the cover. So we're talking bookish people, and it's obviously a romance, like clearly a romance. So I'm glad that there's something light and fluffy after, the Grace Year and the Reformatory. So really looking forward to Love at First Book. Ooh, Love at First Book. Next. Now this is my big, massive book that I'm doing for Massive March. I finished the tandem read for Sarah J. Maas's Throne of Glass, so all I have left is Kingdom of Ash. She's a big one. She is 980 pages long. However, I did read the tandem read in a week and a half. So I feel like I'll be able to get through this in about a week and a half also, because I believe the tandem read is actually longer if you think about both books together. So Kingdom of Ash is going to be my goal for March. I enjoyed the tandem read, but I am so ready to be done with the series. Like, I just want to move on with my life. It was a lot of books. So I may end up doing a reading vlog about this since it is the last one. I've heard it is intense. We'll see, but Kingdom of Ash. Now, in between some of those bigger books, I plan on picking up Kappa by Ryonosuke Akutagawa. I showed this in one of my book hauls, but it is basically I found it on like the books you can read in a sitting section of Barnes & Noble's. It is 82 pages long, and it is a translated work of fiction, and I have a reading challenge where I need to complete that box, and I figured I have way too many big books. I need a little short one, so I plan on getting to Kappa this month too. Now, in between those books, because I am a mood reader, I have to have some other options, and on my Kobo, I am currently reading Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I have the physical copy. I may end up picking it up physically also, but for right now, I'm just gonna, I think I'll probably, when I'm done reading this, pick back up Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. And this one is about Emily Wilde, who is this professor or student or whatever. She is a scholar, and she is writing an encyclopedia of fairies. In this world, fairies are real. And I think it's supposed to be like a cozy fantasy with a little hint of romance. Yeah, she's looking for these like elusive fairies that she wants to add to her thing, and her insufferably handsome academic rival, Wendell Bamblebee, shows up, and he utterly confounds and frustrates her. So there's a little bit of romance in here. So it sounds cute. So far, I'm like 25% of the way in. I'm a little bit less than 25% of the way in, and it is cute, and I'm enjoying it, but it's not my favorite book by far. And if I get to it, I get to it. If I don't, then I don't. Another book that I wanted to get to in March, but I honestly don't see it happening with the giant books that I have to read, is In the Weeds by B.K. Borison. This one actually takes place, like it starts in March, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, chapter 1, March. And it is the sequel to Love Light Farms, which I absolutely loved. I read it 2 years ago for Christmas, and I fell in love with the characters, and I want to continue them because this follows the friends of the main female interest in the first book. So this one follows, it's a grumpy farmer and a no-nonsense social media influencer have another chance at love in this charming romantic comedy. So second chance, romance, grumpy sunshine. It looks cute, and very perfect for the start of spring. And then finally, for my mood reads, I might possibly pick this up, is Rebel Witch by Kristen Ciccarelli, I think is how we say it. This is the sequel to Heartless Hunter or The Crimson Moth, depending on where you live. It is the sequel to that book. It is a duology, so this would complete that series. So if I were to read this, I would complete 2 series this month, which is very tempting because that like would check a box, and that just fills something, like it's a dopamine rush. So anyway, Heartless Hunter follows a witch hunter and a witch who fall in love. So enemies to lovers. It's really fun. I really enjoyed it. I will link my review to it up here, wherever, in the corner. But I really enjoyed it, and I'm really looking forward to the sequel. If I don't get to it this month, then definitely next month I will be getting to it. All right, and you would think that would be all, right? You'd be wrong, because I picked up this stack of books from my library, and I am actually really psyched to get to them. I do plan on doing one library reading vlog a month, so at some point I'm going to read some of these. I don't know if I will get to all of them, but I am definitely going to read at least 3 of them. So I'm going to start with the 3 that I know for sure I'm going to read, which is Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Shannon McGuire. This is the second book in the Wayward Children series. I read the first book. I can't remember what it was called now, but I read the first book and really, really enjoyed it. This book follows the twin sisters Jack and Jill, who were in the last one, but it actually takes place before that book. So this actually takes place when they are in their world the first time, how they ended up there as children. So I'm really looking forward to that. I have a feeling it's going to be a little dark and creepy just because of Jack and Jill's story from the first book. They're a little dark and creepy, and it kind of reminds me of like a Dracula Frankenstein-esque story. And I don't know if you can tell, but it's all like black and white, and then there's just this one bit of color. I'm pretty sure their world is like a black and white world, which is really cool. At least that's how I'm imagining it when they talk about it. So really excited about that one. I also have this one. It's another short one. It is called Lie With Me by Philippe Besson, and it is actually translated by Molly Ringwald, which is really exciting because I love me some Molly Ringwald. It looks really short. I cannot remember who recommended this, but it was very highly recommended by them. And it is about an affair between two teenage boys in 1984 France. And it's just supposed to be a beautiful story. So I wanted to pick up just something that was short, but also beautiful and beautifully written. I'll probably definitely be picking that up. And then the other one that I know for sure I'm picking up is Libby Lost and Found by Stephanie Booth. My library friend, Rebecca, she recommended this to me a while back, and then they ended up getting it in stock. And this is about Libby Weeks, who is the author of a mega best-selling fantasy series, kind of similar to like the evil J.K. Rowling, yeah. So, similar kind of, or like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of another, you know, Harry Potter has a cult following. So she has a similar type, she's a similar type of author with better morals. And to maintain her pride, and she has a pseudonym. She's writing her last manuscript, and she is diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's. And she is forgetting her characters. So she's desperate. She turns to 11-year-old superfan Peanut Bixton, who knows the books even better than she does. Finding the ending they need will take them down paths they never expected. So one of the big reasons why I'm really excited to read this one is this little excerpt right here. It says, with the zany verve of lessons in chemistry and the unexpected, unlikely friendships of remarkably bright creatures, Libby Lost and Found is a book for people who don't know who they are without the books they love. Lessons in Chemistry is one of my favorite books. I absolutely love it. I have this beautiful $40 edition that I had to have. And then I also, Remarkably Bright Creatures, I read that one recently and I absolutely loved it. So these two books, if it is something between a cross of those two books, I know I'm gonna love it. And plus Rebecca always gives really good recommendations. So I'm really excited for this one. It is a longer one. Oh, I guess it's not too long. It looks longer. It's 383 pages. Oh, never mind. It's 380 pages. Well, whatever. Either way, it's a little bit of a longer book, but I am really excited about it. So I know when I do my library reading vlog, I'm probably going to do these three, but I do have 3 other ones that I got as holds, and then just ones that I picked up. I don't know if I'll get to them, but I was really excited about them when I saw them. So the first one is The Ghost Cat. This one is a charming novel for fans of Before the Coffee Gets Cold and How to Stop Time, following a cat through its 9 lives in Edinburgh, moving through the ever-changing city and meeting its inhabitants over centuries. It sounds so cute. It's a short book. It really is, because it's one of those like, okay, here's a regular sized, that's not even a regular sized novel. Here's a regular sized book. It's little. It's so little. Isn't it cute? I mean, come on. So this one's really cute looking, and it's not even that long in pages either. It's under 300 pages. Yeah, 262 pages. So I think if I can get to it, I would love to. And then another one that I picked up that I had never heard of before either was Where the Dead Brides Gather by Nuzo Ono. It actually won, hold on, winner of the Bram Stoker Award for Lifetime Achievement. I know the Bram Stoker Award is for horror, so I'm really excited about this. I think it's gonna, it says, at times hilarious, at times terrifying, always gripping, supernatural terrors, a powerful ghost story whose beating heart is a living girl, dark and magical. I mean, it sounds like all the things that I will love. But basically, this is about Bata, a young girl tormented by nightmares, waking up one night to find herself standing sentinel before her cousin's door. Her cousin is to get married the next morning, but only if she can escape the murderous attack of a ghost bride who used to be engaged to her groom. So it sounds fascinating. I absolutely think, and I've never heard of it. So really excited about that one. This one I've seen recommended by several booktubers, Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. This is part of the Regency Fairy Tales series. Apparently there's more than one. This is the one that I see recommended all the time. It is about a young lady named Theodora Ettings who was cursed by a fairy to basically have no feelings. And she is thrust into the London season. But when Elias Wilder, the handsome, peculiar, and utterly ill-mannered Lord Sorcier, discovers her condition, she is instead drawn into dangerous fairy affairs. If her reputation can survive both her curse and her sudden connection with the least liked man in all high society, then she and her family may yet reclaim their normal place in the world. But the longer Dora spends with Elias, the more she begins to suspect that one may indeed fall in love even with only half a soul. So supposedly she has no emotions, she has no feelings, but obviously she catches feelings for this man. I love Regency era romances. They're just so fun. And I had kind of gotten on a kick of them on my Kobo recently. I found a couple on Kobo Plus, which I'll be talking about in another video soon. But yeah, this is fun though, because it's like fantasy and Regency era. This sounds really fun and really up my alley. So I kind of want to get to it. I might like say, screw the TBR and just do whatever I want. I don't know. But as of right now, these are the things on my radar to read. With that, I'm going to end this video because it's already getting longer than I expected it to. And it sounds like my son is done with his breakfast. But yeah, this is what I'm planning on reading in March. If you have read any of these, let me know what you think about them down below. And if you got this far, go ahead and leave, oh my goodness, is this a pickle? Go ahead and leave a pickle for comment down below, just to let me know you were here if you don't have anything else that you want to say. So I will see you in the next video. Bye.